the growth of a given company that we work with or a team and the use of tools in the business. There's a direct relation. In fact, I get a ton of calls each week where I'll get a chief sales officer or a senior VP of sales from a large company, and they'll say to me, hey, JJ, how many text messages were sent through the app last week? And how many videos were shared? And so guess what? That's a metric that they measure to gotta get a pulse for how the business is doing overall. How many text messages were sent with a video last week? And that's a direct indicator of how things are going and that activity in the field. And so that's something that you guys should keep in mind, not only for your own personal business, but your team. And there's a direct relation between the use of tools and the growth. Now, why is that? There's two or three things I want to just share with you before we jump into the app itself. And the first one is what I call increased activity happens because of tools. You guys have all heard Kathy Coover share this message from stage that you should be armed and dangerous at all times. And what is it about tools that makes that happen? She's referring to, by the way, being armed and dangerous means that you have a tool with you at all times. And what that does is it creates activity that you're constantly sharing the isogenic story with other people. And so that's the first thing that tools will do. And there's a principle that I like to teach called 2 a day, 10 in play. And it talks about the use of tools to create activity. And you set this goal of, I'm going to share 2 tools with 2 new people every single day. And at any given time, I might have up to 10 people that I'm sharing the story with. So 2 a day, 10 in play is a fantastic principle to live by and to hold your team accountable to. The other thing that I would share with you is that tools will help create duplication. So these are 2 or 3 characteristics that you want to have as part of your team. So one is increased activity because of tools. Number 2 is duplication within your own team because you're using tools. And that is a characteristic that you have to build deep and to grow a large organization. If you don't duplicate, you die. You go away, right? And so you've got to create the duplication. And there is not a better way to create duplication than plugging into a system and using tools and letting the tool be the message and you're simply the messenger. One thing to keep in mind too, guys, is you're sharing the story with other people. People are going to mimic what you do. So set the example as a leader, right? People are going to mimic what you do. Also, keep in mind, as you're beginning to share the isogenic story with somebody else, whether you like it or not, that person is asking themselves, can I do what that person's doing? Can I do what she's doing? If you know all the stuff about the science and all the ingredients and all this and that and the other, or if you know all the details about the compensation plan and all of those things, that person's going to be saying, holy smokes, I don't think I can do that. But if somebody calls you and says, hey, I have a question about the compensation plan, perfect. I'll send you a little video done by Eric Cooper. It has all the details that you need in it. Or if somebody's wanting some information about the science, yep, I've got some information for you that has all the information you're going to need. You don't need to tell them. Let the video be the message. And one other quick thing I would talk about duplication. In my opinion, there is not a better type of tool to create duplication than a video. A video. And Isagenix has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and created systems and technology to support you in that process. Now, why are videos so important? Again, I would tell you the most important medium or important tool type that you can share is a video, because there's not a better way to create a duplication. You can let the video do all of the storytelling for you. You're simply the messenger. Let the tool be the message. You're simply the messenger. And you're just, if you can text a video or if you can push play in the family room of your home where you gather a bunch of people, let the video do all the heavy lifting, that's how you create duplication, okay? And whether it be, I love like Isagenix is such a great job. They have a variety of different videos, and we'll show you here in the app in just a minute. But I've always liked the phrase or the principle that Tony Robbins teaches, where he says, let the prospect determine the presentation. So based upon what that person's needs are, let that prospect or let that individual determine the presentation. So whether you're leading with weight loss, or you're leading with the business, or you're leading with healthy aging products, ask the right questions and let the prospect determine that presentation. And then I'll show you in the app how you can leverage all of the videos that are in there to build a big business. And then finally, the last principle I tell you about is retention. We have done multiple case studies in the industry as a whole about the relation between a brand new associate who plugs in within their first 30-day window and they plug into the tools and the system, and the increase in retention is almost 4 times more likely to still be in the business 6 to 9 months later versus the person that didn't. And so it's really important to plug them in, because, and why is that? There's an increase in confidence. Again, they don't have to know everything. They can just share the content, and that will help them create the duplication, create the activity, create the excitement that they needed to be able to empower them to share. So with that said, there's some things that I want to share with you before we jump into the app. There's one last principle that's, I think, imperative to make sure that you guys understand as you're using technology, and it's this phrase that I call high tech, high touch. High tech, high touch. What we're seeing in the industry is that companies and groups that are really growing, guess what? They're using technology. But at the same time, guess what they're marrying it with? The high touch relationship part of what this business requires to be successful. They're using both things, okay? High tech, high touch. Don't forget the high touch part of this. And as I go through the app today, I'm going to show you some ways that the app's going to help you with the high touch part of the business. So let's now dive in, and we're going to jump into the app. Can you all see my screen okay? Perfect. All right, let me jump into the app here, and we're gonna dig into some of these tips that I want to share with you. So you'll notice here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to centralize all of the content that's going to live right here within the app. You got all my videos are in here. I've got all my digital assets, from PDFs to the digital lookbook to social media images. There's a whole bunch of training content in here, podcasts that you can plug into, Dr. Plant, all of those things are available for you to be able to access here. So you're going to use this not only for recruiting, but also for supporting a brand new team member or supporting a brand new customer. There's a whole bunch of resources that you'll use. Now, as we go through the process of actually navigating content, there's a couple of tips that I want to share with you. The first one is the top 10 assets within each category are going to be listed. In fact, these videos that are listed right here, those are actually the top 10 most shared videos globally as a company. And so that kind of gives you a feel for what's being used and what's being shared. Now, at the end of each category, there's this little See All button. The See All button is going to break out all of the content where there's literally dozens and dozens of videos that are available to you. And there's this little button up here in the top right, the filter button, that if you want to filter content and find a category of videos, you can scroll in here and say, oh, I'm looking for, let's jump down here to the science section. So when I tap on science, what that's going to do is it's going to break out and show me only the science videos, okay? And now I can plug in and use those if I want to. So that's one quick way of navigating the content. And you'll notice here that each category has a See All button, so pay attention to that. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the search field that's up here at the top right. The search field is super great. Like if I come in here and if I want to look for like a system guide, for example, I can type in system guide, and all of those PDFs are going to now populate of all the different system guides that are available to you. So use the search field to find the content that you want. It'll break out videos, PDFs, images, everything that you need. And then I can select the one I want. So if I wanted to select the weight wellness guide, I grab that, and then I can now share it, right? There's also this little favorite button. Do you see this little favorite button that's right here? This is also a tool that you guys should be using a lot. And what that does is when I click favorite, what that's going to do is it's going to populate up here at the very top of the app under my favorites category. So one of the main benefits of using the IsaTools system is it's going to help you be more efficient with your time, be more effective with your time in finding content and quick and easy access. And because I realize a lot of you guys are building their business, you're carving out a few hours a day or a few hours even a week, right? And so you got to be effective and efficient. The speed to sharing and the more effective and intelligent you are with sharing, the better off you're going to be. So that's a few tips as it relates to navigating and finding content. There's another tip that many of you probably won't realize. There's this little button up here. Do you see this little button up here? These little two bars? So when I tap on that right there, what that's going to do is it's going to publish all of the categories that are here. And if I'm down here and if I'm like, oh, I use this presentation category a lot, or if I use the social media image library, or if I want to move PDFs, all I have to do is grab these little bars that are right here, and now I can customize the order in which the stuff appears. So if I want to move videos to the top, for example, I can just click and drag this little bar right here and bring it to the top. And now I can restructure my content to the way that I want to see it. Okay. So that's another tip that you'll want to use. All right. Now with that said, we're going to go through the process now of sharing some content. Again, I'm going to share a few best practices, things that you guys should be doing on a daily basis. I'm also going to share a few advanced tips for those of you that are, I would call a power user, that's used to using the app. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the process of sharing a video. So I'm going to select a video, and I'm going to come in here. Let's actually share this video right here. I know somebody's trying to call me. The next entrepreneur video. And I'm going to go through the process of sharing this. Now, one of the things, remember I talked about high tech, high touch before? You should never send a video to somebody who isn't expecting it. Again, this is a people business. This is a relationship business. They should have heard your passion and excitement about the products or the opportunity before you send it. If you guys have been to ICUs, if you've never been to an ICU before, I highly recommend going to one of those. Those are invaluable. And there you'll go and you'll learn about the importance of developing a short 30 to 60 second story, where you can, if you can master that experience, share that 30 to 60 second story, get used to connecting and finding out what that person's needs are. And then you can say, hey, would you be willing to take a look at a video if I texted it to you? Perfect. Give me your number. And I can now I can send it. So that's what should happen. And now we're going to go through the process of sharing this. So you'll notice down here a couple of things that are on this page. You see the little play button that's right here? If you're new, or if there's new content that you're not familiar with, play it. You can watch it right within the app. I've already talked about the favorite button, and then I come down here to the different share methods that are down here. I can email or text. I can share through social media. I can copy the link, or I can download the video to reside within the application. I want to talk about each of these briefly and make sure you understand best use cases for each of these. Let's talk first about the copy link feature. Now, when I copy the link, what that's going to do, you notice as I did that, right at the very top up here, it says that's been now copied to my clipboard. So what that means is now I can leave the app and I can now go to like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, and I can now share that link. Now, keep in mind, that's a very effective way to get that video in front of that person. It's going to be attached with my name. My contact information is going to be there. And it's a very simple, effective way of grabbing content. But when I use that copy link feature, it won't have any tracking. A notification won't happen. You won't be able to know what percentage of the video they watched. The only share methods that you can use to have tracking are emailing and texting. Okay, and texting, guys, guess what? 70% of the time that an asset is shared from the IsaTools app, it's done via text message. And 70% of the time, guess what it is? It's a video. And that's a great culture to have as a company, because that's a very effective way of sharing. Gone are the days of I wouldn't be emailing too much, especially one-to-one. I would email, in groups and that kind of stuff, but use text message because the delivery rate's 100%, the open rate's nearly 100%. It's a great way to build. All right, the download feature is the last thing I want to talk about, and I'll come back and talk about social in just a minute. But download basically is if I click to download that video, it's going to reside within the application. Now, when and why would I do that? There's a couple of use cases. There's an entire library of videos that you have here, and if you are hosting a meeting in your home, for example, and guess what? That success leaves clues comment that I referred to earlier in the training. Guess what? Home meetings still work, guys. It's a very effective way of building the business, and you have an entire library of videos that you can share from your phone to cast to your TV in your home. And if I was doing that, what I would do is I would download the video first, and that way it's not having to stream as you're sharing it. So you can play it right in your home and use an in-home meeting for an in-home meeting, and you've got your whole library of videos that you can share. So that's one use case. Another use case is you guys have a ton of training content in here, videos and PDFs and even podcasts. And if you download it before you go on an airplane, for example, and you don't have access to the internet, that allows you to be able to play the content without the internet. Okay, so that's another use case. All right, now let's go through the process of sharing. and I'm going to text this, and I'm just going to breeze through this. You'll notice as I text this, it's going to pull up my contacts that are on my phone. One important thing that you need to remember is there's a pull to refresh feature that you should be using in contacts as well in the media page, and I'll show that to you here in just a minute. After you've synced your contacts the first time within the app, it's going to pull your contacts directly from your phone. And then if you add a new contact, in order for you to find that contact, you've got to pull to refresh on the screen where you're dragging down, and that's going to refresh that person. Or you can add somebody right here by clicking on that plus sign and add them right into the app, and then you can share with that person. So in this case, I'm going to send it to myself. So I'm going to select my name. I'm going to search my name. I'm going to select that number. And this will now populate the text message. Now you can see here, it carries with it a suggested script. I can delete that. I can use it. I can personalize this. You know, hey, Jeff, here's the video I told you I was going to share with you. Boom, I now send it. So as I send it, the app's going to tell me that it was successfully shared. And now the text message comes in. So now I'm acting like I'm the recipient. This is the experience that your prospects or customers have as they receive the text message from you. They're going to now click on the link they received from you. And now they're going to go to a simple page and where they can play the video. And that instant notification of where the video, where it tells you, hey, this person just clicked on the link. And that's an invaluable feature here in the app, knowing when your people engage in content so that you know when to follow up. We've all heard the phrase that the fortune is in the follow-up. By all the top leaders in the industry, the fortune is in the follow-up. And knowing that when they click on the content and helping you follow up, again, high tech, high touch. We're helping you with the high touch part of this in helping you know when to follow up. In addition to that notification, you're also going to know what amount of the video they watch. When they come down here and they push this little play button, we're going to report that back to you so that you know how engaged that person is as you're following up with them. Now, one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to call them and say, hey, why did you only watch 30% of the video? We don't want to be awkward or odd or scare people away. But if you go into the app, you guys should be living here within the media section every day, right? And finding the content you want to share, simply texting content, sharing it through social, sharing it through a variety of ways, which I'll talk about tonight. But you should be spending every day right here in this activity feed. This is the most underutilized and most important part of the app, in my opinion. And what you're going to do here, I talked before about the 2-a-day, 10-in-play principle. Contact 2 new people every day and have up to 10 people that I'm actively sharing the Isogenic story with. This is where you can see all that activity. It's a chronological order of all of my shares. Now, you'll notice here that I shared the Start Your Life video last week, and I can see that I texted it to Adam Roberts. And this first notification means that he clicked on the link in the text message. And the one above it means that he actually watched the video 100%. It tells me right here, it watched 100%. He clicked on it again and watched it 5% of the video. So there's some really good data there that you have access to so that when you follow up with Adam, you know how to cater the message, right? So keep that in mind as you're using this part of the app. It's a chronological order of all of your shares and if and when they view content. Another thing on this page is you can look at the date and time that these were shared. It's broken out by day. So I can see, Friday, September 13th. If I scroll over from right to left, I can see the date and time that occurred. And then there's also a really cool follow-up feature. Do you see how there's a little blue dot on this contact? If I come over here to Jake and I say, oh, I need to follow up with Jake. He viewed the video while I was at work and I couldn't call him back right away. I can swipe him over, flag him as a reminder. I can do the same thing with Michelle. I can see that I sent this video to her. I can see that she watched the Just Cleanse video. She clicked on the link. And in this case, she watched 95% of the video. So she's ready for my phone call. Okay. So I'm going to now swipe those and flag them as a reminder. And those people live up here in the reminder folder. Okay. So that's where the reminder folder is. And now you can see these 3 people I still need to follow up with. So this is another really cool part of the app that's not being used too much and should be. And after I follow up with Adam, all I have to do is I'm going to actually follow up with Michelle and I'm going to swipe over from left to right and I'm going to flag her as done. See that little thing? I mark it as done and now she flies off the screen and now I'm only dealing with 2 contacts. Okay. Another thing that you guys should know is there's if I were to click on a contact themselves, so in this case, if I was to scroll down and click on Adam, his name, what this is going to do is it's going to pull up all his contact information. And I can call him, I can email him, I can make notes. Do you see the little notes field? I can say, oh, I met this person in Florida, you know, or hey, this is the Uber driver that dropped me off at the airport. Those are things that you can keep track of. I also can, from this page, share tools. I can call him, email him. I also can add to what we call a drip email campaign. Sorry, my son keeps interrupting me. And you can see I can add to a drip email campaign. What that is, if I was to tap on this button, it would tell me if he was already attached to one of the drips, but I can come right up here to the plus sign and add him to a drip. So that plus sign shows all of the autoresponders that I can turn on for that individual. And if you create your own in the desktop version of this system, those will show up here. And so that's another way that you can access and apply a autoresponder to a contact. All right, now with that said, that's a quick overview on how to use the activity feed. And that's something, again, guys, I can't reiterate this. This is so important. This is a place you guys should be going to daily and throughout the day, especially if you're actively sharing a lot. Now, another tip I want to share with you guys, this is one of the advanced tips that I'll share with you tonight. How many of you have been involved and had people reach out to you through Facebook Messenger and say, hey, I saw that post, I'd love more information, tell me more? And how often would it be nice to be able to know, if I was to now go to here, I could select the video I want to share, I could copy the link and share it with that person. That's an effective way of quickly getting them content. But the copy link feature doesn't let you know what video they watched or what percentage of the video they watched. So here's a tip. You can come here and to the text message section, and I can actually generate a link by clicking on the text message. And if I was to send that to Aaron, for example, I could click on the Aaron button, and this is going to now populate a text message. And this is now generated a trackable link. This link right here is trackable. And now instead of pushing text and sending it to that person, I'm going to come in right here and I'm going to grab this link. I'm going to cut it out. I'm not going to even send a text message, but I generated a trackable link that I can now open up WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or any other application where I'm sending it to a contact. And you can now have a trackable link, and that activity will show up in the feed. And one thing that you should know is it won't show that you sent the Start Your Life video, but it will see their name will show up saying they clicked on the link, and it will tell you what percentage of the video they watched. Okay, so that's how you'll use Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or WeChat or any other messaging service to be able to track if and when they click on the link and if they view the video or not. Okay.
I got a quick question before we go on real quick, JJ.
Yep.
On that, because I remember you and I sitting at a celebration figuring that out, how we could get notified when we were doing that. And so I was sending it to myself first and then pulling it from there. So you're saying now we don't have to send it to ourselves, because when I sent it, it said viewed by Jeff Beebe.
Here's the challenge, Jeff. Like with that is if you say you sent it to somebody 2 weeks ago, but in between there you sent it to 2 other people, you don't really know who clicked on it, right?
Exactly.
So you could actually just generate a contact here in the app and be able to just create the link with the intention of sending it through Facebook Messenger. That's probably a little bit more effective, so that way you can keep track of who's really re-engaging, even if it's 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 2 months or 3 months ago, right?
So long as it's generated out of that group into a text form without sending it, long as it goes into that message feed, then you just copy it before you send it, and then you can pull it out there and send it to whoever you want.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So one other quick thing I want to talk about is this My Tools section. When we talk about videos, again, videos, and guys, did you know I just was reading in Forbes magazine that a customer is 67% more likely to purchase products after watching the video compared to those that don't. And so I can't reiterate, videos are the way to build, guys. This is especially within the Isagenix world, because there's so many powerful videos that tell the story and create that duplication for you. But let's now go through the process of highlighting this My Tools feature that we have available to you. And basically what this does is it allows you to record a personal video and pull it right here into the app. And I want to share maybe a few tips and things that will help you and make sure you guys understand some use cases in sharing these. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to create a video. And inside of the video, I actually want to point and say, hey, click on this link right here, and this will tell you more. This is a video I want you to watch. So if I wanted to, inside of the video itself, add what we call actionable links that makes it interactive where they can actually click and engage on content in the video player itself. You can use this add a tool button within the My Tools section and do that. But say I wanted to direct them, and I'm going to point them to a video where I'm inviting them to watch this Mary Evans video. And I could come down here and copy the link. And now that link is ready for me to add to the video itself. So we're going to go back to the video, and I'm going to generate one of these videos. So you'll notice here, the first time I add a video, I'm going to click right here to add the video. After I've added my first video, if you want to add multiple videos, you can come up here to the plus sign right here in the top right corner and add those videos. So in this case, I'm going to click here to add a video. So I can record a video here by just tapping on this button right here, and that's going to record that video. Or I can use one of the pre-recorded videos that I've already recorded. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. These videos have to be 3 minutes or less, right? And a couple of use cases of how you'll use this. You can use this for obviously prospecting purposes. Hey, I just went to lunch with Jeff, and I want to follow up with Jeff. Hey, Jeff, here's the video I wanted you to watch. Click on this link right here. And if you're ready to get started, this is the link to the 30-day system that I want you to get started with. And I'm delivering that content. Or hey, click here to follow me on Facebook, or here, click here to join our Facebook group team page. You know, that's a prospecting use case for personal follow-up. Another use case might be, I've got a welcome video that I'm always going to send to new people when they join my team. Hey, here's a PDF I want you to look at that has the you share, they share, repeat, or a video, or anything, any welcome content that you could give to a new team member or a new customer as they're starting a 30-day system. Click on these links that'll help you, through that experience. You can provide those types of videos. Now, as we go through the process, I'm going to click on the video I want to share. In this case, I've already recorded one. So all I have to do is progress and fast forward just by sliding this bar to the point where I actually refer to the link that I'm going to talk about. So in this case, I already copied the link to the video I'm commenting about. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add, I've got all these action links, a website, purchase products, call me, email me, follow my Facebook group page. In this case, I'm referring to a video. So I'm going to click on that link, website link, and I'm going to click, drag, and drop that up to where I want that to stay. And then all I have to do is, because I already copied the link from the IsaTools app, I'm going to come right here to this URL, and I'm going to now paste it. And now I'm referring in that video to the Mary Evans video. And now they can click that video. Now, this could be a video from within the app. It could also be a YouTube video. It could be any video you want. Any URL that refers to a video, you could actually plug in there if you wanted to. And then I can adjust the length of time it's going to stay on the video, on the player itself. I would usually keep it at the default, which is the remainder of the video from the time you introduce that link. Keep it up there the entire time. You can adjust it to a certain number of seconds or whatever. So then after I've done that, now I want to add some additional links. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on this arrow button. And now I can add additional action links. So I'm going to fast forward to the point in the video where I add and talk about my 30-day system I want them to buy. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on this buy button, and I'm going to click, drag, and drop that to where I want it. And now I've got that link exactly where I want it to be. And then I can come down here and click on this plus sign to add the link. In this case, I'm going to come down to the 30-day system. I'm going to click on that, and I'm ready to go. You guys can also use the IsaLife app, right? Leave this, open up the IsaLife app, copy the link of one of the packs that you generated that you like to use, and paste it right there. And that's how you could use a recommended pack that you reuse all the time, okay? So you don't have to use one that's right here. Just copy and paste it from the IsaLife app, and you're good to go. A couple of things that are really important. Do you see how this URL has with it the HTTP URL and the colon and the // You can't come in and actually add www dot in front of this extension. It actually won't work. So whatever you're copying, make sure you copy the full URL or else it won't link properly, okay? So that's how you're gonna use that. Another way that you could use this is, again, I talked a lot about Facebook groups. I'm sure many of you build with Facebook groups or you refer to your team page and that kind of stuff. If you wanna do that, all you have to do is add that Facebook icon and then add that URL, go again into Facebook, copy and paste it, boom, and share it, and you're good to go. So that's a couple of use cases of how you're going to do that. And then I can save this video by clicking the next button, and I could call this Jeff follow-up, or the ISA body presentation, or my opportunity presentation, or whatever you wanted to call. If it was generic in nature, you could save that so you could reuse it all the time. Okay, so I'm going to now save that, and now I have a personalized video that's now part of my tools that I can text to somebody or share in any way I want to. Now, what's cool about this is when I text this to somebody, within my activity feed, not only will it show me that they clicked on the link or watched the video, but it'll also have additional notifications that they actually clicked on the links inside of the video that I embedded. So it'll actually tell you all that information. So pay attention to that as you're dealing within the activity feed of the app. All right, that's enough on videos. Let's jump in, and I want to just quickly, hopefully there was some helpful tips and new things that you've learned, and you can use those more effectively. Now let's talk, and all the trackable, insights of texting PDFs, the new member form. In fact, many of you, if you're not using this tool right here, you should be. This is the Isagenix, Science of Isagenix PDF. Has all types of great content that you can share. So get familiar with a lot of the PDF, the library of PDFs that we have. The lookbook, I'm going to just quickly plug the lookbook. This is such a cool tool. If you're not using this, you should be. It's basically your guys' brag book. If you're familiar with the physical version of the book, it's a tiered product that shows, weight loss and energy and performance, the 100-pound club. Now, when I send this to somebody, it's again trackable if I send it via text message. This will now allow the person, what I've done in this case is I've shared the entire book. So you can see they come to a landing page and they can see energy, performance, weight loss, healthy aging, 100-pound club. And then when they click on one of those categories, and you can also just share directly the 100-pound club link. And if there's somebody you're talking to that's saying, yeah, I need to lose a whole bunch of weight, send me some results. Okay, boom, I'm going to text them the 100-pound club section of the app. And this is literally a scrolling feed of nothing but before and after photos. And this is the way the lookbook works with weight loss, energy, performance. All of your different solutions are right here that you can share, and all with their transformations. And of course, your contact information is up here as you share it. So this acts like a replicated site, a super powerful testimonial piece that you can share with people. And so if you're not using the lookbook, go in and get familiar with the different categories that you can share. All right, now let's go in and let's share how to share on social media real quick. I'm going to share some insights that might be helpful. There's a whole library of content here, and you'll notice that some content's generic in nature, and some content is company specific or product specific. Many of you have been taught within the Isagenix community to build with the 10-4-1 principle. And that basically talks about the idea of, what type of ratio of content should I be sharing that's specific to Isagenix versus when it's not. And so we try to help you with a variety of different content that's available to you. And I'm going to share with you one of these. I'm just going to show you the process of sharing to a social media page. I'm going to select this image right here. And this is a before and after photo. And you'll notice that it's completely generic. It doesn't reference Isagenix by name. So this is a great way to create curiosity and get people to engage in a post and wanting to learn more. Those of you that do a Transformation Tuesday or a Transformation Thursday or a Wellness Wednesday post, if you're looking for good content, this is a good place to be able to go. And if I'm coming here to social, I'm going to tap on this share method of social. And what this is going to do is it's going to encourage you in this first step to write a unique message. We always know that raw, real, authentic content works the best, right? But we've also provided you down here some details that might be included in your post. And so you can come down here and click on this use example message. This is going to give his age, how much weight he lost, etc. And it won't let you go to this next step and actually copy this, because we don't want 10,000 people sharing the exact same image in the exact same caption, because the algorithms and the Facebook gel and all those things won't let you do that. So I'm going to select copy, and what this will do is it will actually give you a little error message saying, you know what, you have to modify this by at least 10% or we won't let you share it. So I can come in here and I can either delete content, or even better, you should be personalizing this content, but a little bit. And you can celebrate their success and do it however you want to, and then you can go to the next step and share copy, And this will now come in and open up every different social media network that you have on your phone. And then I can come over here to Facebook, and that's going to do is it's going to pull in that image. And because I've already copied the caption that has all his details, all I have to do is select paste, and that's going to pull in that content. And I can, I will have already personalized this and made it my own, but that's a way that you can leverage a lot of the content that's currently part of the app. The other thing that you can do, by the way, is if you're on an iPhone, right up here where it says friends, I can now share this through groups and different channels that I have within my Facebook page. All right, so that's the process of sharing to Facebook.
I just want to say something real quick while we're in here, just so, because we got quite a few of our team here. When you're doing something like he's telling you right here, make sure when you're pulling something out of here, you delete some of their last name or something, use their first name, the person, because a lot of people you're trying to recruit the person and they'll find that person and they'll go there. So
yeah, you want to make it as generic as possible. And so that's so up here, that's a good comment up here. You should be deleting, any reference, or just use the first name and maybe the first initial or whatever. So great comment. As we go through, there's a new feature of Instagram stories, and this is something that the company is going to continue to provide and support. Instagram stories is a very effective place to share. It's a great way to override the algorithms, Instagram stories and Facebook stories. And the way this works is you can see that these are designed in a vertical format to be able to go into Instagram stories. Now, Instagram stories does not allow you to push from a third-party application like this into your story. And so we've developed a workaround. So if you wanted to share a story, you see how this has story 1, story 2, story 3. So this is a progression of stories. And what you can do is you can come in here to download the first story. All I have to do this is, instead of coming down here to social, you're going to come up here to where the icon is to view it. And I'm going to tap on that, and I'm going to come up here to the download feature, and we're actually going to download the image to our phone. So I just did the first one. Then all I have to do is go over here to the second one, click on that same process, click on this link, download it, and then I'm ready to go. After I've done the third one, I'm ready to now share this Instagram story to my personal page. So I've now done all of that. So what I'm going to do now is open up Instagram. And then what this will do is this will let me come into here to where my story is, and I can select my story, and all I have to do to share that is I come right down here to where my images are, and now I can share, tap on this, then this one, then this one, and now I can share that story on my own Instagram page. So know that Isagenix Corporate is going to be adding additional content into the Instagram stories category so that you guys can share that. And we're working on a whole bunch of like transformation stories and things like that you can share that'll get people, commenting and engaging in content. So pay attention to this category in the app. All right. With that said, I just maybe want to just highlight a couple of things. Again, the pull to refresh feature is a very important one. Do you see what I just did? I just pulled down on the screen. That's refreshing the content and pulling the content in. That's something you guys should be doing frequently within the app, because it's going to make sure that you have access to all that. Again, you're just dragging down. You'll see that pull to refresh prompt. You should be doing that within the media section as well as the contact section. Another thing you guys should be aware of is that if you guys want to build a list in your phone that you work with, you can swipe right for a hot contact or swipe left for that contact, and that's going to build a list of people that you are planning to work with. And those are your hot leads up here in this folder, or cold leads. You don't have to build a list this way. This is one of those nice to have features if you want to use it, if this connects with you and you want to do it. But that's something that you guys could use if you want to build and manage a list from your warm leads on your phone. You can also come up here to the swipe feature, and I can swipe right for a hot lead, left for a cold lead, up to skip, or down to hide or to remove that item from, or that person from my list. So again, hot list, cold list, and that's another way that you can manage your contacts within the app itself. A couple of other quick tidbits that I'll share with you is, if you're building and you meet somebody on Facebook and they're in another market, you can adjust your market selector by coming up here to the market selector, and I can come down here and say I met somebody in Australia. I could tap on the Australia button, select the language I want to view it in, select done, What that's going to do is it's going to repopulate the content. You see how these videos are different now? And now these videos are meant for and compliant for that market. And so you'll see all the PDFs, all the lookbooks, all of those are different now. And so each market within here, you guys can adjust to if you're building in Europe or other places, and if you're looking for specific content in that language or for that market, simply adjust your market selector and share it with them. And that's another way that you can access content that's meant for those respective markets. Okay, I think that's everything that I wanted to share. I'm happy to take some time and do some Q&A if you want. If there's anybody that wants to ask any questions, I can hang on for a little bit. Or if there's anything else, Jeff or Debbie, that you wanted me to cover, I'm happy to do that. And maybe just again, I want to maybe just reemphasize a couple of quick takeaways from the call tonight. High tech, high touch. We talked about high tech, high touch. We talked about 2 a day, 10 in play, and creating activity within your group. We talked about creating duplication and using videos. Guys, if you're new to this and if this is overwhelming, like if technology is overwhelming to you, don't worry. Just simply use that feature of where I texted a video to somebody. If you use this and only this, you can build a massive, massive business. I'm not kidding. You guys can build a massive business and just get used to texting videos to people. Connecting with people, let me text a video, and you can build a massive business. So start there. If you're looking for somewhere to start there. And then, we talked about, activity and duplication, high tech, high touch. So hopefully there's some good tidbits and things that you guys can think about and work on. Let me know if there's any questions. I'm happy to hang on, or if there's anything else you guys want me to cover.
So JJ, this is amazing. And I can remember the first time, or a couple of the first times, when IsaTools first came out and I was learning about it. I remember feeling a little like overwhelmed, and I am one of those person that just basically the videos. Mm-hmm. And you're right, you can build that massive business just from that. But now that I'm a little bit more seasoned, and you did this so beautifully tonight, I so get it. And I really love the download button, because something I never think about, you get on that plane and you're like, crud, I can't. Yeah. When we land, I'll send you, So I love the download thing. And we do have to do that for like the lookbook, the PDFs, right? We still have to do the download. So it's on.
Yeah. If you want to view a PDF while you're on a plane, or if you want to read the compensation plan document or whatever, you just download it and you can view it while you're there, or pass your phone to somebody, or pass your iPad to somebody.
I love that. That's my huge takeaway. And I do have to get out of my fear and make my own video.
I got a question for you. The 2 little pill looking things up on top, on the very top, that shows all the app. When you clicked on that, let me see. It looked like you had more than what I have. Did I have a cheaper version of this, or?
So you might have the basic version and not the pro. And so that's probably something I should cover really quick. There's 2 ways. Well, we should talk about those of you that are new. You can go to get started. What you would do is you go to your back office, log into your back office. You click on resources, and then you click on go to IsaTools, and you have to create your account first in the back office. After you've done that, then you can download the app from the App Store and log in. Now there's a basic version, which is $9.95, and there's an upgraded version that we call Pro. And the Pro version has all of the bells and whistles in it. And the Pro is $14.95. So, and in addition with Pro, what the difference between the basic and the Pro is, the Pro has the coaching emails. The Pro has access to the desktop system, where you can log in to your laptop computer and do everything I showed you here, but more. And there's a whole bunch of features on there that you guys will love to use. There's also a feature with the Pro that I should quickly plug that is called, within the app, there's an app called Hurdler, Expense and Mileage Tracker. And that is included with the IsaTools Pro. If you were to go get this on your own, you'd spend $19.95 or $24.95 a month to use this. And it's included. All you have to do is download this app from your app store and log in with your same username and password from your back office. And it'll let you in. You can keep track of all your expenses, when you go to lunch, when you travel, when you drive your car for the business. keep track of all of that. And at the end of the year, it'll export all the information, and you can just either, if you do your own taxes, or you give it to your tax accountant, and all of that will be done. And so this is something that's a huge value. And this used to be called Deductor back in the day. And it just got upgraded where they merged with another company that's called Hurdler. And it's an unbelievable product. If you're not using it, you should be. It's included with the Pro users. So plug into that and that.
Quick question. Now, since old school, since right when they say download something, we download it. So obviously I downloaded it before the Pro. Now, if I was to upgrade, we can just, if for those that did get the first version.
All you have to do is you just go into the back office, and under resources, there's a little button that says manage my IsaTools account. Mm-hmm. And you just change from basic to Pro.
Okay.
And then you're going to get all the bells and whistles and access to the desktop system plus the Hurdler app that's available.
Okay. So all you guys that's been around for a while that have the old one, go in there and upgrade.
Yep. It's worth it. I mean, that alone, this app alone is from a writing off your expenses. I mean, you guys will save $2,500 a year if you do it right, or more, just by keeping track of your expenses that are right here. So that's an important thing for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Anybody got any questions? Don't be scared. Ask a question. Jump in here.
Mark Greer had a question.
Go ahead, Mark.
Mark, are you still on?
Yeah, I think JJ, I'm here, Deb. JJ, you mentioned that different countries had different sort of menus when you click the button. In Australia, we don't seem to have the Instagram option. So, anyway, obviously it might be coming.
That feature we'll be working on and deploying in other markets. Right now, it's only available in the U.S. And Canada, I think. But I just met last week. We had Mac Larson in our office last week, and we were meeting with the entire sales team, and we'll be working on a whole bunch of new things that are coming out. So anyway.
Okay, cheers.
Okay, so other question now. So obviously there's a lot of countries that when you click on it, we don't see. What's the
right
update
now,
on?
these are the only markets that we support. We are working on adding additional markets, Mexico, some of the Southeast Asian markets. So hoping that early in the first part of next year that those will be available.
Perfect. Thank you.
So I had a quick question. Is there a feature in here where you can send a message, like hit them up to a lot of people in a text, like via text to a list?
There's not yet. This is more meant one-to-one sharing. In the future, that is something that we'll be introducing. I will say this, though, that the desktop version of this, and maybe Jeff and Debbie, you can have me come back and do a completely separate training on the desktop. But there's some really cool group email communication features that you can do there. And in the future, we'll be working on some other group messaging features that'll be coming out toward the end of next year.
And with the Pro, you have the desktop as well, desktop access as well, right? So we could use those now, the group email feature.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can send out up to 5,000 emails a day. And so plenty of resources there. You can save email templates and scripts and all kinds of stuff. Lots of really cool things. I'm happy to come back and do another training on the desktop.
Next Monday?
So yeah, next week.
I'm in. You sign me up. I am in. Put me to work.
Okay.
Okay, you're in next Monday. That way it's a follow. That way it's a follow-up of this.
We'll keep it fresh. I love it. Send me the invite, and I will be there.
Okay, so next Monday we're going to do this, and we do have a UK Zoom that we're just started up. So there's not a lot of people on it, but if you would like tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. to jump on and do another training.
Let's do that next week. My morning tomorrow is completely shot.
Okay. Now question what Stersha just asked. So we cannot go in and copy the link out of that, because in Hit 'em Up, it lets you create the content you want and put your script or your picture in there. You can't put the script of the link in that Hit 'em Up and it'll open, because it goes out as a text anyways.
You could, it will just, it won't be trackable, but it certainly could be shared there. Absolutely.
Right. So the question is, Starsha, we can send it out that way. So if we have a massive a picture from them that you see in there, something you want to share to the masses, you can do that by the copy the link version, but you cannot, like he said, it's not trackable, unless you send it to yourself. Correct me if I'm wrong. Unless you send it in a text to yourself first, and then you pull it out of that text, and then you put it in that app. Then it'll alert you, but it's going to say Starsha is now viewing the video.
And it might tell you 20 times if there's 30 people in the group or whatever,
Well, it sends the Hit 'em Up app sends it out individually, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, but it would still tell you if you send it out to a group of people and it's got sent individually, you're going to get the same contact viewing.
Right, exactly. You won't know who it is.
It could be 25 different clicks from 25.
Right.
I got 2 questions real quick.
Uh-huh.
As my dog just started barking. The drip system on the app, it's email only, right?
Right now, email only. We will be introducing texting soon. So the first quarter of next year, we'll be introducing a sequence of auto texts that can be sent out. So look for that feature to be coming out.
Okay, that's huge. All right, and then 2, say Cheryl and me just connected on Messenger. And before I was like Jeff, I was sending a link to myself and then sending that to her, and it would tell me that Chris Harville opened my link.
Yep.
And 50 times, so every time somebody does it, Chris Harville opened the link, and I don't know who it is. But say me and Cheryl just connected on Messenger, I send the link to Bobby on my phone, but then I just copy the link and I send it to her. And when she opens it, is it going to say Cheryl opened it or Bobby?
Whoever you created the contact for, or the link for. So if I come in here to the video, and if I was to create this link for somebody, it would, whatever the name of the contact is,
Gotcha.
Like if I was to send it to Aaron Crandall, it would pull up this link right here, and it's going to list this person's name. So however you have it listed in the contact details is how that will work.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
So I got a question since he's hit on that. So if we create say I'm going to send it to Chris, if we create, and I have to copy the link, I create this fake name, I put Chris's name in there, and I don't send it through that. So I can just basically pull it from that without sending it, and then put it over to her, or put her name in it, and it'll still show up as, like you said, whoever the name is created.
Yep, Chris. Yep.
Yeah, so we can still get around that. You could just put a fake name in there, put Cheryl's name in there.
Yeah.
And, send it. So that way when it does pop up, it can say Chris Harville S, Cheryl, just put an S after your name. All right, there you go.
Any other questions?
Is this app
Yeah, one
more?
person, and I'm not sure the name because it just says Galaxy Notebook. So
Well,
you had your hand raised.
well, I don't know. I'm a Galaxy Note, but not Notebook.
Okay, Note. Sorry, I added book.
Anyways, I'm just trying to figure out, is this app more suited to the iPhone than the Galaxy? Because everyone seems to be on iPhones, and there's some things.
I'm glad you asked that question. In fact, our app is what's called a native app. So the people that are technology savvy or familiar with how apps are developed, our app is actually a native app for both iOS and Android. And so the user experience is very similar for an Android user than it is for an iPhone. Just some of the navigation is more intuitive on an Android, and it's a little different because we did that intentionally so that we make it easier for an Android user and iPhone users used to kind of navigating how Apple has created things. And so the experience is very similar, but it's managed by a completely separate department or team internally on our side. And so it's an incredible experience, and the Android app is very effective. I mean, it's a great product. We have a fabulous team that manages that.
It's just sometimes more people, and our team at least, it's more iPhones. And so if you need some assistance on something, it's like, well, we don't know.
Yeah. One thing you guys should know, in settings, do you see the little settings button down here at the bottom right? There's a couple of areas that I want to just quickly highlight before we end. And there's a little place down here that we call support. So that little button right there, if I tap support, I can come in here and report a problem or request a feature by just tapping on that button. And what that does is it populates an email that comes to us, and it tells us this person is on this version of the app. They're using an iPhone 11 that has this software on it, and we can see your user credentials. And so we know how to best serve you. Okay, so that's a way that you can pass along information to us. If you need any type of support, we'll help you. Okay.
So you'd be a little different than Facebook and all those, where it just goes into an auto retake and you never addresses the fix. You actually fix it.
It goes to a live person, and it does have a systematic ticketing process, but you will get responded to for sure.
Well,
so you could use that. The other thing I want to highlight in here is the notifications button. So that notifications area, make sure this green button is turned on in order for you to receive the notifications that people view your content. And then you can also turn on email and SMS notifications if you want. And then finally, this share setup section right here, this button right there. Okay. But make sure to go in here, and do you see how I've uploaded a photo? Spend the time to do that. Like, it just is going to personalize your sharing experience, because every time you share content with people, your contact information is going to be visible. And so make sure you have that filled out. And then if you're building this business with a spouse, like in this case, I showed the example of JJ and Amy Oswald. You can have both of your names listed there, and you can share an account if you want to. And that way you don't have to pay for two different subscriptions. Just share, as long as it's attached to your same business center and you're okay with that, just use one account and maximize that. So that's another quick tip that I'd share with you. Otherwise, I think I've almost addressed everything we have in here tonight, and then I can come back next week and we can do a desktop. There's some super cool features on the desktop system, but again, I can't reiterate, keep it simple, guys. Like, start by just texting videos to people and slowly progress like Debbie did to where she gets more comfortable with other features and that kind of stuff. But that's where I would recommend starting for sure.
JJ, I had a quick question. I don't know if you could just take 1 second. Is there some place in there, I mean, you did such an amazing job explaining it, and I took like half a book of notes. I'm wondering if there's some place in there that just explains some, like if I go back to my notes in 2 days and then don't remember exactly what you said.
Right here, it's called IsaTools Training, has all kinds of tips. So you can see like how to create an interactive video, an overview on Instagram stories. There's all kinds of videos in here that you guys should be using. Did we record this, Debbie, or no? Okay, well, we could even load this in, or just put it at least within your team Facebook group page. But yeah, this is a great another place that you can get tons of info.
Okay. Thank you. I didn't see that. I saw mostly videos.
Yeah, a lot of what I covered tonight is on here. But yeah, so. The other thing, before I forget, that I want to make sure I pass along to the team is, as you guys all know, we also manage the IsaSalesTools.com website. So product catalogs, physical brochures, physical lookbooks. We also have business cards and pop-up banners for events and those types of things. So I created a promo code that's specific to your team that you can use, and you're welcome to share it with other people. And it's a pretty big discount. We're going to do a special as we're getting toward the middle of the month here. It's 25% off your order. So that's going to be even more than free shipping. It's going to be, free shipping is about equivalent of $10 of 10% off. So it's 25% off, and it's good on anything on the whole website through the rest of the month. And so the code is BESTU, BEST and the letter U. And you can use that code on Isa Sales Tools. Share that on your team Facebook page. Let people know that even if they didn't attend the call tonight, I'm willing to open it up to everybody. And that's a great way to get the physical tools. Again, be armed and dangerous like Kathy teaches you, whether you're carrying the phone in your pocket or if you're carrying a catalog with you or something like that. That's a good way to get stocked up on stuff, or a banner, or get a banner for a huge discount, right? Or whatever you want to get. So hopefully that works. Does that make sense? BEST and the letter U, all one word, is going to get you that 25% off through the end of the month.
Is it all capitals?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I would promote it as all capitals because that's how I think I wrote it to my web team.
You're amazing. Thank you for that. That's so kind of you. We so appreciate that.
And you know what our team name is? IsaBestU Team Express.
I know. I reached out, Debbie, and I tried to get a code that would be easy for people to remember. So there you go.
Question now, do you want us to send you this recording? How do you want to get this so you can put this in there?
Yeah, if you'll just email me at, I could do that for sure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you so much.
That was so awesome. All right.
Well, you guys are welcome. Hopefully that was helpful and
so helpful.
That's great. So appreciate you having me on tonight.
Thank you. We're gonna
thanks everybody.
We're gonna unmute and do it in isogenic style. All right.
All right. Here we go. Unmute everybody.
You're all unmuted. All right, Jeff Beebe.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. IsaTools! Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you, JJ.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
God bless you.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
There's Drew.
Hi, Drew.
Hey, everybody.
That's so
This was such a great call, guys. I hope everybody got a lot of value out of it.
Meeting to load.
Bye.
Everybody make sure they go get we've been around a while, and I'm glad I caught that. I got the old version.